Opportunist on the loans me. Last time when I go use me. All hip hop so we self come first. All hip hop tell them so we self come first. So you hear me now from me the voices I-Octane presenting for all hip hop. You understand? If you all hip hop do an interview, you know boss.
That part, that part. What's going on, world? It's your man Chuck Creekmur, aka Jigsaw, here at WonWorld Studios for AllHipHop. And we are here with a special guest, I-Octane. What's up, my brother? How you
How you
doing?
doing? How you doing?
We got
Chuck?
King in
Bless
the
you, bro.
house.
Yes, king,
Yeah.
king, king, king,
Yeah,
king.
definitely.
Yeah, man.
Respect,
Give thanks,
respect.
give thanks, give thanks.
I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
Same to
we
you.
don't have a whole lot of dancehall reggae artists come through the building, so it's
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
different look today.
yeah. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. You know what I mean? Cause yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. This is
yeah.
a different platform, different energy, different vibe.
Absolutely. I could feel
You
the
know?
positivity radiating from you when you walked in the room.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Because life is energy.
Hmm.
Life is energy. I'm very, I'm very guarded in terms of the amount of positive energy that I push out.
Right.
So I don't care how the reaction is negative. I am so
Hmm.
blessed
Yeah.
with positive energy. Sometimes it outbalance out the negative.
Right.
And also negative is very imperative to positive.
Right.
Same way. You know?
Facts. How do you maintain that? I mean, when you look at the state of the world, it feels like it's the negative that's taking over or dominating. It
Hmm.
feels that way.
Because human beings lose their identity and their way.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So when you're an individual seeking validation from the world or seeking want to be validated by things,
Hmm.
so I might wear a lot of these things, but I am the person that wearing it. It's not wearing me.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So a lot of people want to be validated because a lot of people, 90%, 95% of human beings in the world is a lot of emotional scars that human beings is carrying.
Right.
So a lot of people create a persona,
Yeah.
and a lot of people been, accepted by a lot of people accept a lot of people through the persona that they created, that alter ego that they created.
Hmm.
And people love them through it. But the person behind that persona is a broken individual,
Yeah.
is an individual who, their soundtrack of their existence become their persona.
Mm.
So a lot of people want to be validated. So they lose their identity as a human being, because their identity as a human being is for oneself to gather oneself and to have control of yourself.
Hmm.
So when you reach that level of mental state, because I don't really live in this world, I live in my mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear
So
that.
that's why I bring off this energy.
Nice, nice.
Hmm.
Now, the music you produce exudes that too. You know,
Yes.
you're sharing that with the world as
Yes.
well. So let's jump into your album a little bit and tell
Hmm.
people about this project, God and I. Um, what made you call it that?
Well, got a knife. Um, Back to human beings, because all of us are human beings. But before human beings, all of us was greater than, you know, flesh and bone and organs, capillary vein, brains,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
whatever dimension, your body, in terms of flesh, how your body created. But you, all of us exist before this world. All of us exist as a
Uh-huh.
spirit, as an energy. You know what I mean? And from that energy, a lot of people don't consider where we all derive from. So a lot of people don't embedded their existence in the Almighty God Himself. But people just feel like they just exist
Uh-huh.
without a supreme being.
Right.
People just feel like they're just here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people is still in the matrix. So God, a lot of people is too near the forest, they cannot see the trees. So them overlook God.
Uh-huh.
But I know that when I wake every single day in the morning, like I have to plug on my phone, I have to charge my refrigerator, I have to plug in my TV, I have to charge my car, I put gas in it. I am the only entity. Otherwise, from a different human being wake up that don't need to be charged.
Right.
So how am I living?
Right. Yeah.
That means I have life source. I derive from something, which is God.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
God is my source of energy and how I think. You know what I mean? So that helped me to actually coexist in this world and
Mm.
actually love people for people and love the world for what it is. You know, so God is my leader. A lot of people don't believe in it, but
Yeah.
I don't really believe or hope or faith or should or could. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know too. I know too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just know, you know? Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's
Absolutely.
why I come up with this name. And I think as a human being, I'm not perfect. And a lot of times I get caught in the human being aspect of my existence.
Right.
So I lose that connection with the creator. But the creator, God Himself, have blessed me so much where I'm coming from to where I'm at today is a great accomplishment for me.
Yeah. How do you reconnect when you momentarily lose that connection? What do you do anything in particular or specifically?
Yeah, because first and foremost, you have to do a spiritual cleanse.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And anybody who don't align with their spirit, you can coexist, but it's not an individual should be in your immediate circle.
Mm.
You know, and then you analyze your life and see who which person in your life that is utilizing your 24 hours more than you.
Mm.
Because every individual have 24 hours each day.
Yes.
If we're doing time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have 24 each day. And a lot of us have priority lists, that things that we prioritize, and have priority lists that we are not on.
Yeah.
We only connect to the priority, but we're not on that priority. And a lot of people on the list is utilizing minutes, seconds, hours from your 24 hours.
Yes.
And you're not even on that individual priority list.
Yes.
So you have to check your priority list and check your 24 hours. Who is utilizing your 24 hours, and you're not getting any minute, second, or hour from their 24 hours.
Right.
So you gotta remove those persons and then put the most imperative thing on your priority list. And then your surrounding become smaller. And then you have more time to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's great advice. Great advice.
Yeah, thanks.
So your new song, Opportunist,
Opportunity.
kind of fits right in line with that a little bit. Am I right?
Yes. Yes, because if you cannot be used, you're useless.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of people is used, it's been used by the wrong person.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right. So for instance, if every individual is imperative to your existence,
Uh-huh.
but you have to just put them in the right place. You know?
Right.
So if you have a room, for example, layman terms, you have a room, you have the balcony outside. But you know what? Let's put the bed and the TV and the refrigerator outside. And in the room, let's put the bathroom, let's put the kitchen, let's put the where the area that the dogs stay. So you have the right equipment for those, but in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Because when the rain fall, the bed is gonna wet, the TV is gonna get damaged.
Yeah.
So you have to rearrange back your life and rearrange it like a room and put the place. So on the balcony, you put things that is durable to the outside environment. And in the house, in the bedroom, you put your bed, and in the living room, you put a dining table, put utensils in the kitchen, and you align your life the right way. So this is how you align your life, and then you will see better result.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of things, stress is like it release hormones in your body that, you know, decrease the lifespan.
Yeah. Right. Right.
You know, so I've reached a level mentally where I'm I'm not a stressful person. I don't have stress. I've dealt with stressful situation daily, but I am not a stressful person.
Right.
So I just detach myself from that.
Right.
Yeah.
We're here in New York City. Is this your first time here? Not your first time. Couldn't be.
Not in the city.
Not in the
But
city.
it's the first time doing this.
Yeah.
this
Okay.
work, yeah.
Because New York can be stressful sometimes, and I think a lot of
Yeah.
people need your advice because they break or crack under the stress.
Yeah, because a lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of people think, all right, a lot of people is successful in things, but it's not their true calling.
Right.
So whenever anything is your true calling, it don't matter the burden that comes with it. Just your natural love for it, it helps you to alleviate yourself from that burden that's come with it.
Right.
And once you're doing something and it becomes a burden, that is not really a true calling. And then a lot of people align themselves with purpose and align themselves with career. And then, your career always exceed. A lot of people career always exceed their personal self.
Right.
You know what I mean? It take more, and so a lot of people cannot find but their self. So they're just coexisting through the algorithm of a career or a purpose. But human beings is the only thing. They say human beings is the highest thing in the food chain. So you have human beings and then you have less habitats in the food chain. But human beings is the only animal or the only living element that was taught how to live. We don't grow to our full fruition. Like you plant a mango tree, grow. You don't have to teach it how to bear mango.
Right.
So human beings has been retaught and disconnected from the Almighty, from the universe. So, so we're on this algorithm of the world that people create for you to survive. So when you understand that, when you overstand that type of concept, then you can detach yourself from that. And when you detach yourself from that, you have time to really apply yourself the right way.
Yeah. Do you still stay in Jamaica?
Yeah.
You still live there?
It's been a while since I've been here, but I have everything there. I do most of my business in Jamaica because Jamaica is, they say, it's a third world country, so with first world experience. So it's good to invest in the country.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't live out Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it for you growing up?
For me?
And how did you find your purpose?
For me, growing up was rough, because I wasn't poor, I was beyond poor. So you have poor and below poor. That is my life. So you have poor, middle class, upper class. So it was rough. It was rough, but the experiences teaches wisdom,
Yeah.
It was rough. I was a youth in the street, crime, violence. My friends, most of my friends, is, prison, dead, So music become my true calling, where growing up as a kid, I always use music to 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 to, to hide my flaws. Even before I know that I'm gonna pursue a career in music.
Right.
So going to school as a poor kid, you never really have the cool clothes, the jewelry, the bag, you know what I mean? And what public school do or does to an individual that don't have a certain things and place amongst peers that have it is create insecurities in individuals. So that is what public school do to individual, create insecurities, because they already place you into class where they place you. In Jamaica, you have like, so for instance, you're going to school, you have 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, So when you're in 1D as an individual, automatically that embedded in your brain that you are the lowest of the food chain. You're the duncest of the, you understand?
Yeah.
So we grow with these things embedded in us indirectly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And remember, say every individual have their own purpose. Each individual is rare. There's no other individual like you. And once you're once, that is rare.
Yeah.
But you lose that thought, that chain of thought, so you feel like you have to compete with me, or him have to compete with me, or if you're on top, I have to take you down before I can be on top. That is teach amongst the black people instead. I know on a whole. So growing up was rough, but I do music, and music. I think music saved me, where it take me away from crime, it take me away from violence, it take me away from a lot of things, and make me become this established individual where I appreciate life more.
Yeah.
So I've lived the poorest life, and I've lived life where I have, abundance of wealth.
Yeah.
So I can differentiate. So whenever I see, and it's just only a state of mind.
Right.
It's only a state of mind, because growing up, I think that I need 5 cars and 10 house, and when I actually get it, I only can drive one at a time. Only can utilize one seat at a time. Only can utilize one bed at a time. But that also teach me to be a slave to success,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it also teach me to be a liability owner.
Mm-hmm.
Because growing from the ghetto, growing from the slum, you think that you need these things, but they don't teach you how to get these things and convert them into asset.
Right.
So I
Right.
have 4 or 5 hours, and I'm not Airbnb in it. I'm not renting it. I have 4 or 5 car, and none of them not working for me. All of these are
Yeah.
liabilities,
Right.
and you have to learn the hard way. So it's all a state of mind. The greatest wealth you can have is your health. You inhale and
Mm-hmm.
exhale every day,
Mm-hmm.
and keep a sound mind. That's the greatest.
Mm. Who did you grow up well, not I don't want to use the word idolizing, but who did you look up to when you were growing up?
In terms of a
Music.
philosopher
Or
or music,
not music.
mu
It could be both.
I don't have a one particular individual,
Okay.
but I'm a youth going to school. I always love literature. I always love to read. I always love to expand my knowledge. Because I read a quote one day as a youth said, the greatest thing on earth is not even life, it's the greatest thing on earth is to know.
The no.
Yes, that's the greatest thing, is to
Oh,
know.
okay.
Because everything is a sub context or a sub thing to knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you hope for see something, that means you're in a dilemma between knowing and hoping for it.
Mm.
Or I have faith that it's gonna happen. Without you apply yourself and make it happen, it might not happen.
Right.
You understand? So it's also a segue to doubt.
Right.
I should. No, don't should do it. So I read that definition and that stick with me for life so I always like those philosophers. These quotes always go to different people who speak of life itself for my knowledge, and then I expand it. And in terms of artists, I have a host of artists. Like, it's not one particular artist, because if an artist can perform,
Mm-hmm.
I would study that artist and
Right.
add that to my performance. And they have different type of performance. You have people who dominating in terms of how they deliver their speech. You have people who in all them active on the stage. You have people that how they project their voice. So I learn, and then young artists also play a great role too, where I learn from them.
Okay.
So I don't repeat
Mm-hmm.
whatever people classify as mistake,
Mm.
because all mistake can be converted into lessons.
Yeah, definitely. In the global environment we're in,
Mm-hmm.
we've seen what you would call, I guess they call it world music, like
Yeah.
where there's a lot more now. Diversity is you have Afro beats, you have
Mm-hmm.
dancehall, you have reggae, you have African music. We listen to Fela Kuti. We listen to almost everything now. Have you begun to adjust and change the type of music you create based on these things, or where does the source for you come from in your creation process?
Yeah, adjustment is very imperative as a human being. Put it this way: any individual who don't know the importance of evolution,
Mm.
you're a stagnant individual.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because iPhone 1 is not the same thing as iPhone 16.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
That's a fact.
So every device, every other thing that is aligned to human beings is elevate is making a transition to evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So you as an individual who we create things through the power of the Almighty. Why wouldn't you want to, evolve?
Yeah.
So that is always my motto. I always evolve in terms of how I expand my knowledge and image, and how I carry myself, and my vocals, listen to other music, and try to match it. Don't try match it or create something, but also keep the core thing, which is dancehall or reggae music.
Mm-hmm.
So that is very imperative to listen to other genres and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and learn from it and embed yourself into it. So that is good.
When you when people receive the album,
Mm-hmm.
God and I, what do you want them to take away? What do you want them to receive, if anything?
This album is like a Bible. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
Yes. So you as an individual, you need this thing. You need this type of album in your life where it can also remind you how important you are. Because a lot of people need a reminder. A lot of people don't. They are so far away from reality, so they
Mhm.
need reminder to bring them back to reality. So this is the type of album who and also embedded God in your life and embedded that sense of purpose where you know that he is very important. You know what I mean? And status don't define your identity.
Mm,
Yeah.
right, right. Um, are you gonna tour? Are you going to, you know?
Yeah, man. I'm already a touring artist where I tour everywhere in the world.
Okay.
Everywhere in the world. I've been touring, doing music, you know. Yeah, but this album I need to tour it because the last two album I did some mini tours on them, but this album is connected to me, and a lot of people who hear the songs them already will say, "Yo, we love this song, we love this album," and I think it's a divine blessing. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to put my energy behind these songs and go out and sing them and introduce them to people and different dimension, different different yeah people are gonna.
I was thinking the same thing. You definitely need to spread the gospel through the music. Do you have a favorite place around the world aside from Jamaica that you love in particular?
Well, for me, before I reach this level in terms of consciousness, Jamaica was in all is my favorite place. But as I may say, I live in my head where for me, every place that I've been
Mm,
is like I just remove every other culture from it, so I can go into that with my expectation low
mm,
and enjoy that culture.
okay.
Because once you go into a different culture, so if I flew to New York City in winter and I've never been into New York City in a winter time, I'm gonna make a comparison to Jamaica always being sunny.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna complain about the winter instead of enjoy the winter,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everywhere I go, I always just remove myself to actually observe that culture so I can have a different perspective of it. Because every culture have something that is vibrant
Mm-hmm.
for you to learn as an individual.
Well, we're gonna get you a pair of Timberland boots and what kind?
Timberland,
Timberland boots.
yeah, that would be my first one.
No Timberland, no Timber. Never worn a pair of Timberlands. Okay,
Never,
yeah.
never even. I've been to store and I buy many of them. Like
Mm-hmm.
my friends them, yo, but I never get one for myself.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll change that. We'll change that.
change that. Yes,
Definitely. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming up
it's a blessing.
to the platform. I
Yes,
hope it's not your last time. We appreciate the energy. You know, energy is everything now. Energy is everything. So
yes.
seeing you come in with your people was great energy, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man. Love and
Yes,
energy.
yes, yes, sir.
Blessed love and big
Respect.
up the crew, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know people.
And any final words for folks?
Well, for every individual out there that is listening, we're here, and you know what I mean. Just know that you're great. Know that you're here for a purpose.
Oh,
You know, and just find your true purpose. Your purpose don't necessarily mean that you have to be the richest person
uh-huh.
in terms of these or the poorest person, because get this, everything that you've been ridiculed of or everything that you've been judged for, the person that is judging you is also guilty of it.
Mm,
So every person that is looking down on you, they have to look up. And once they're looking up, somebody is looking down on them.
mm,
So until you find that person that is not guilty of your sins, then you can actually glorify that person. But as an individual, every individual is guilty of a sin.
mm.
And once you have a sin, you're not perfect. And there's nothing named perfection. You know what I mean? Because there's no ceiling to life. There's no ceiling to evolution. So just know that as an individual. Today you go to the gym, you strain with 10 pounds, consistent to change perspective. You go next week, you can lift up 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And then 40 pounds, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So what is perfection?
Yes, sir.
Evolution. Your New Year resolution always to be growth.
This is just what I needed to hear today.
Yeah, man, respect.
Respect.
Yeah, man.